Bismillah ar-Rahman ar-Rahim. Hello, my dear students. This is Mr. Nabil Adam speaking from Al Mubarakiyah Secondary School. This is a recorded lesson for my dear students, grade 12. Today we are going to study Unit 3, Lesson 3 on workbook on page number 16 and 17. Please open your workbook on this page and then follow me to complete answering these questions. Our topic in Unit 3 is human values. What do we mean by human values? They are beliefs and principles that guide our life. Look at this logo and this building in Kuwait. What do you know about Kuwait Red Crescent Society? Kuwait Red Crescent Society. It's an organization. It's very famous in Kuwait. And it has an abbreviation like KRCS. So KRCS represents this organization, Kuwait Red Crescent Society. It is a voluntary humanitarian society that provides assistance to people. It helps vulnerable people who need special care and help. It provides assistance to vulnerable people without discrimination based on nationality or ethnicity. The KRCS depends on youth groups and volunteers to carry out many of its activities and programs. Pay attention to these words in red. You are going to study them. The volunteers are deployed wherever they are needed. So we have some new vocabulary: voluntary, vulnerable, ethnicity, volunteers deployed. Let's study them. What do you know about Kuwait Red Crescent Society? Outside Kuwait, they participate in rescue operations with specialist teams in the aftermath of natural disasters. Aftermath is a new word. The aim of the KRCS is to protect and assist people in hardship. Hardship.
Voluntary.
Voluntary. Voluntary. To be a volunteer. I'd love to help. When and where, I'll be there. Sure, I can. Voluntary. Done or made or given willingly without being forced or paid to do it. So we can join voluntary work. Voluntary. Describing the work or the organization.
Vulnerable.
Vulnerable. Vulnerable. Able to be easily physically, emotionally, or mentally hurt, influenced, or attacked. These people are vulnerable. We should help them. They are able to be hurt or physically influenced or attacked. They are helpless, vulnerable.
Ethnicity.
Ethnicity. Ethnicity. Ethnicity. Let's pronounce it again correctly. Ethnicity. Ethnicity. Distinctiveness. Distinctiveness. We can say it's similar like the word discrimination. Let's pronounce it again.
Ethnicity.
Ethnicity. Ethnicity. Distinctiveness.
Deploy.
Deploy. To use something or someone, especially in an effective way. So deploy means hire or employ. Deploy, employ. To use something or someone, especially in an effective way.
Aftermath.
Aftermath. Aftermath. The aftermath of the hurricanes was very dangerous. The consequences of an event. Aftermath.
Hardship.
Hardship. Hardship, difficulty, or suffering caused by a lack of something, especially money. These refugees suffer from a lot of hardships, especially money. Now you are going to read the article about the Red Crescent Society and answer these questions. Why is the society's name important? The Red Crescent Society. Why is it important? What are the aims of the Red Crescent Society? Aims. Why is this organization built or established? Why do you think these actions are carried out by an NGO rather than the government? NGO, it's an abbreviation for non-government organization. Why do you think these organizations or these actions are carried out by an NGO rather than the government? I'll give you 5 minutes to read the article to find the answer for these questions. You can pause the video so that you can read and then check your answers later. You have to pay attention when you read a passage for the first time. First, you have to read the title, the Kuwait Red Crescent Society, and count how many paragraphs. 1, 2, 3, 4 paragraphs. How many lines? 29 or 28 lines. If you have got some underlined words, pay attention to them because you will be asked about them. You can write some notes. You can write the topic sentence of or summarize each paragraph. You can write the topic sentence or get the main idea from each paragraph to make a summary so that you will save time looking for the answers for these questions. Why is the site's name important? The name provokes a charity that is concerned with humanitarian aid and based on voluntary work. What are the aims of the Red Crescent Society? There are some aims. What are they? To protect and assist people in hardship and to provide their basic human needs. Why do you think these actions are carried out by an NGO rather than the government? NGO, non-government organization. Volunteering work or voluntary work depends on urgent steps rather than rigid governmental red tape because we don't have enough time. So volunteering work depends on urgent steps. We are not going to wait to solve the problems by the government. Now, read the article again and choose the correct word for these definitions. There are more words than you need. You've got some words on the right and some definitions or some meaning. Match the words with their right definition. Manpower, volunteer, foundation, discrimination, committee, deploy, motivate, international, network, humanitarian, fundraise. What do these words mean? You've got here some definitions, match them with their words. A, unjust or prejudicial treatment, for example, based on skin color. Let's check the answer. The first one, discrimination. Okay? Ethnicity, you can say it. Yes. Seeking to promote human welfare. Humanitarian. To generate financial support. Fundraise. Or generate, collect money, raise money. Yes. To move something to where it is needed. Deploy. Employ. To give someone a reason for doing something. Motivate. The people available for work. Manpower. الأيدي العاملة. A global system often of business or organization. International network. So we've got more words than we need. Now, make up a sentence of your own using each of the words from exercise 2 above. The words you have matched, use them in sentence of your own. You are going to do them as a homework. Do it at home. Use these words in sentence of your own. Manpower, volunteer, foundation, discrimination, committee, deploy, motivation, international network, humanitarian fundraise. Learn how to form a sentence using these words. Now, you are going to read the article a third time. Make a list of all the adverbs in the reading passage on page 16, then use each one in a sentence of your own. So you are going to underline and make a list of the adverbs. Adverbs are words that modify a verb or modify a noun or an adjective or another adverb. It usually ends with ly, but it doesn't often end with ly. Then use these words or adverbs in a sentence of your own. The adverbs are officially, thereby, effectively, particularly. Now, that describes the ideal Red Crescent volunteer. A person who works for the Red Crescent Society should have some qualities or some characteristics. So you are going to write a short paragraph about describing what the ideal Red Crescent volunteer. Give me your ideas, write them, then let's check your answer. The ideal Red Crescent volunteer should be young, enthusiastic, and compassionate. Also, an ideal volunteer must be kind, efficient, and charitable. These Red Crescent volunteers should receive first aid training from the Ministry of Health. So they should be trained well before they can join this organization. Now, you are going to read these things and to decide are these things true or false, and then justify your answer. You have to give me a sentence from the passage that justify your answer, or your answer is correct or not. The KRCS was the first organization of its kind. Is that true or false? The KRCS has a multi beneficial relationship with the government of Kuwait, a mutually beneficial, exchanging. The volunteers for KRCS are extremely kind-hearted individuals. The only human needs are health care, water supplies, and sustenance, food. The KRCS is run entirely by volunteers. Justify your answer, true or false. Let's check your answers. The KRCS was the first organization of its kind? No, it's false. Because the KRCS joined a pre-existing international group of societies. So it is a part of a group of international societies. The KRCS has a mutually beneficial relationship with the government of Kuwait. That's true. So they cooperate with the government of Kuwait. The KRCS performs work that would drain governmental resources. In return, the government gives the volunteers training in hospitals, etc. The volunteers for KRCS are extremely kind-hearted individuals. They are kind-hearted. They are very kind. Is that true or false? Of course, they are true. Their motivation is compassion and the desire to assist those in need. They have a strong desire to help those in need or vulnerable people. The only human needs are health care, water supplies, and sustenance. Is that true or false? It's false, because these are the only human needs mentioned in the article, but others might include what? Shelter, companionship, or freedom. So all the refugees need many things. They need health care, water supplies, sustenance, and we can add more: shelter, companionship, or freedom, but these are only mentioned in the article. The KRCS is run entirely by volunteers. It's false. The KRCS is support volunteers who raise funds and provide manpower. So the KRCS volunteers, they collect money. They collect money from other people to give to charity, and they provide manpower or provide help. Now, over to you. Would you want to volunteer for the KRCS or a similar organization? Why or why not? Would you like to be a volunteer in a similar organization? Have you got these qualities or characteristics to show your compassion, your feelings, your empathy towards vulnerable people, people who need help? Yes, of course. I believe that with voluntary work, we can make the world better. Many students would love to volunteer for the KRCS or a similar organization to provide services to needy families and helpless in a noble deed. Our religion, Islam, encourages us to help vulnerable and needy people. Now, you are going to study the new vocabulary we started today. Then do this later. Aftermath, deploy, essentiality, hardship, voluntary, vulnerable. Fill in the space with words from the list. And then do the next exercises. Fill in the space with verbs from the list. Choose the correct or the right answer from A, B, C, and D. Thank you. Until we meet again, I hope you enjoy watching the lesson. Do your homework, complete your workbook. Until we meet again in next time, goodbye.